About 2 a.m. this morning, there was an original call in the city of Champlin where there was an individual that had shot Senator Hoffman and his wife. Police responded to that location. They were dealing with that and working through that process overnight. And then later on, at approximately 3:35, that another call came in when it was officers proactively checking because they knew of the incident that occurred, and they were going to check on Speaker Hortman at that time, at which time Brooklyn Park police officers encountered the individual who immediately fired at them, and they exchanged gunfire, and then the individual was able to escape during that exchange of gunfire.
Wow.
At the residence in Champlin, there was life-saving measures that were provided there. Both individuals were transported, as was previously noted, and they both received surgeries for their injuries at the hospital. And their conditions are at this time, both those individuals, Senator Hoffman and his wife, are both alive at this time, but they suffered gunshot wounds and are obviously in a difficult situation. But we're cautiously optimistic that they will continue to improve. At this time, it is a very active scene still, as you've seen. The Brooklyn Park Police Department, along with other members, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, State Patrol, FBI, BC, and many others are actively engaged in a manhunt for the individual that we believe is responsible for this. And so we'll be sharing that identity with those individuals as this progresses, but I'm going to caution you, I know there's going to be a ton of interest in this. We're not at the position we can do that as we're actively searching for that individual. Right now, just as noted, we have teams. Hennepin County Sheriff's Office in Champlin are working at the scene there that occurred there, and then we are also, as we're stabilizing this between Brooklyn Park, working on the homicide investigation with Brooklyn Park Police, the BCA, FBI is assisting there as well, and we'll be conducting a crime scene investigation there. And then the individuals that were killed will be doing autopsies of those individuals to determine the extent of their injuries and how they passed away. But it was from gunshot wounds. At this time, I will answer.
Interesting. This is kind of interesting. I don't know, like, the motive here. Maybe we'll get into that more as we progress, but just weird.
Did he say he said the guy went and shot at one place, the officers responded, they were dealing with that, and then he went to the next. How much time elapsed between those two? Did he say?
I think he said 2 a.m. was the first one, and then 3:30-ish.
About 2 a.m. this morning.
2 a.m. was the first.
There was an original
Yeah.
call in the city of Champlin where there was an individual that had shot Senator Hoffman and his wife. Police responded to that location. They were dealing with that and working through that process overnight. And then later on, at approximately 3:35.
Okay, so like an hour and a half. Somebody also.
But that's from the initial call. So you got to figure, give them 10 minutes to get there,
Yeah.
15 minutes to realize it was assassination, then get to the other police, then figure out who your other, politicians are with. Like, that's not that unreasonable.
No, it's not. And somebody said that they actually live pretty close to each other too. So it's also not crazy that he did this and then went to the other person and was like,
Yeah. There will be people who will complain it wasn't fast enough, but I don't think I would hold that against them.
Alpha News says legislature passes bill repealing Minnesota Care for illegal immigrant adults. DFL leader Melissa Hortman, and this was on June 9th, was the only Democrat to vote for the bill in the House, where it passed 68-65. It then passed the Senate 37-30. So presumably this, and we don't know, but could this have been the reason why she was shot? I don't know.
Could be, but this to me looks more like people looking for a reason. I don't know where, but I heard that he had a list of politicians.
Yeah.
And even the fact, because it wasn't just her, she was just the first. Also, she's not a tie-breaking vote. I thought she was the tie-breaking vote. That looks like she's not even a tie-breaking vote. So
She's not, but she's the only Democrat.
But
So,
even if we say that
I know what
she's
you're
maybe
saying,
a slightly conservative Democrat, it's probably not this vote in particular. Like, I'm not saying he didn't target her because she's a conservative Democrat, but it probably wasn't because of this vote. But I could be wrong because, I think there's a little bit more about his work that maybe ties in with it.
So we got Nick Sorter saying, holy crap, Representative Melissa Hortman sounded absolutely terrified while speaking to the media after she voted no on health care for illegals. She was just assassinated this morning. She knew she'd end up as a target in one form or another. She knew? Let's take a look.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision. I know that.
Whoa. How often do you hear people talk like this about crossing the aisle? Like, how often do you hear
Her
Democrats
eyes look pretty dry to me.
or Republican? Why is she? Her voice is clearly shaking.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and
Maybe. Wait.
I've seen people fake cry way more convincing than that. I mean, it could be real, but if she's walking out trying to explain to other Democrats why she voted for this.
we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
I don't know.
It'd be a lot more convincing if she were face to face with a mother who were like, my child here didn't get, their dentist recovered, than the idea that she's about to cry because she just signed a bill that will limit their, it's too abstract for me to really think it's triggering her emotions that strongly.
A man accused of fatally shooting Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband has been identified as 57-year-old Vance Bolter. Bolter has a history of it's a tough one. Has a history of political ties in the state, having been appointed by the governor's Workforce Development Board in 2019 by none other than Tampon Tim. Wow. He was also previously named to the same council in 2016 by then Governor Mark Dayton. What the hell?
So he could, he sounds like he's in the know politically. So it could be that it's connected to this. To me, it looks, maybe she was pressured. She probably had you ever see that Norman Rockwell painting of 12 men around this one woman in a jury room, and they're all trying to convince her. I feel like I could see a situation like that where she maybe had high pressure negotiations in that congressional chamber, and now it's coming out emotionally, but.
Yeah, maybe.
That Nick Sorter, right? Who's connected to Timcast. Tim Pool is obsessed with the idea of getting assassinated. It comes up very frequently. Every story that's
him getting assassinated.
Yes, and streamers in general. I think is the thing that broke him into finally mentioning Nick Fuentes on his show was when someone showed up at Nick's door. He talks about they've got a high security compound. No one gets in or out without photo ID and stuff. Tim really is paranoid. And he talks about Civil War, but the idea of someone showing up and shooting him is big on his mind.
You think this guy's kind of playing into that too?
Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Especially this. She knew she did it, but it's so matter of fact. Yeah.
And it's reasonable because it is something that happens to streamers where it's they think they're safe, but it's and they, like you said, where you could be, someone out there could be mentally ill and you think you're just we're just kind of messing around, and they're taking it really seriously and you don't know it. Imagine if you're, it's one thing when you have 7 buddies and one of them wants to kill you. What are the odds of that? But if you have 7 million people listening to you, you already know there's a couple people in that group that want to kill you. It's just whether they try or not.
So Tim Waltz says, out of an abundance of caution, my Department of Public Safety is recommending that people do not attend any political rallies today in Minnesota until the suspect is apprehended. So that would totally stifle the No Kings riots, or I should say protests, I should say, that were going to be occurring today. He doesn't want people to do that.
How convenient.
Yeah.
How convenient for Governor Walz.
Yeah.
Minnesota does not burn.
Yes. Not again. Not a second time in 5 years. Or release the manifesto.
Because I did see, I think I posted somewhere here where they said they had his vehicle, and in the vehicle there were No Kings flyers.
Let me see if I can find that.
As well as somebody was reporting that there was a list of targets, a somewhat lengthy list.
So this was the...
Wait, that's it?
That's the vehicle he was driving? Praetorian?
He wrote Praetorian. Get out.
What is that?
That's wild. Praetorian Guard was Caesar's special, his super loyal soldiers right around the king.
Yeah.
They were his bodyguard. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's what they're going to get. They're going to get politicians that are so divorced from people that they're going to all have a huge, security contingent. Do you remember the first Spy Kids movie?
Yes, it's been
There's
a
a
while,
point way
but
at the beginning where like the president's daughter is ballet dancing, and there's like
yeah, it's like 50 guys. It's
60
like
CIA that moving back and forth with. It's gonna be like that with every politician,
every movement
and
she
we're gonna
makes.
and we're gonna pay for it. What was the very top? Right, if you scroll it, what's it say? Report. Which was that? It on the road? Oh, they're driving away. Yeah, if that pulled me over, I think it was a cop.
Exactly, I would too.
This is our lot. We've just missed the last order date for latex masks. If you don't want to get on a list from now on, everyone who orders one is going to be on a list.
Yeah, damn
I knew it. I felt that I needed to get one with all the
realistic looking.
AI scanning your face and everything. I'm like, I need to get a latex mask just in case, and I didn't do it.
That's a good point too, is that they can, because this looks fucking crazy, man. If this dude showed up to my fucking house, this is just nuts. I can't. This is not real. That's what
honestly, I would probably answer the door and get shot. Like, to be
I
honest,
probably would too. I'd be like,
if
what?
that guy showed up
It's a
at my
cop?
door, yeah, the odds are I would not look long enough and careful enough, and I would open the door and I.
It's just so like, it's very premeditated, thought out. Very like this guy did a lot for this. That's why it's like it is. It does seem weird that it's like really you did all this just because she didn't vote a certain way on illegal healthcare when it wasn't even the deciding vote. It wasn't like the be all end all, and she already voted on it. Like maybe they were coming up to a vote and she was the deciding vote, and you heard she was. Maybe that could be but like I don't know. It just seems weird. It's like this is a lot to go through for just this. And that's why I feel like there has to be maybe something more to this.
Nah, but it's so okay. So he had no Kings flyers. We're pretty sure.
Let me see if I can find that picture.
It is no King's Day, right? It's the day Trump is having his big military parade. It's his birthday, all that, right? And he does this, and he writes Praetorian on his. If that was real, that image that he wrote Praetorian on, he's got it in his mind that like he's resisting tyranny or something like that.
It's just weird because it's like you think he would kill or unalive or whatever. Yeah, a Republican.
You would, yeah, I would, but someone. Again, going over his history, they said he was a nationalist and anti-abortion. He's a Christian. I think they said he was a Christian nationalist. Who knows? Maybe he could be right wing.
Dr. Vance Bolter, that one's a struggle, has been involved with security situations in Eastern Europe, Africa, North America, and the Middle East, including the West Bank, Southern Lebanon, and the Gaza Strip.
So riddle me this. Why is it when Israel takes out the IRCG's command in pinpoint attacks, it's a systematic regime change to avoid civilian casualties? But when someone assassinates American politicians, it's creating chaos in the country.
I know. That's an interesting question there. It's because the Iranians are such a threat. They're such a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
This is just horrifying, dude. Like, holy
It really
shit.
is. My doors don't have any people. There's no windows, so I can't see until I open the door.
See, I don't even answer my door because I'm away from my main door, very far away from it, and there's 2 doors too to get in here. So this
What's
is
EDD? What kind
erectile
of doctor is
dysfunction doctor. CEO of Red Lion Group based in the Republic of Congo. He's also CEO of Praetorian Guard Security Services. Oh, that's where it comes from. He took one of his security service vehicles over there.
Still symbolic, but not intentional anymore.
Yeah, he's worked
I
at
bet
Nestle.
it's education. EDD is probably Doctorate of Education.
See, like this just smells bad, bro. Because like, look at this guy. He's a doctor or whatever this is. He was a CEO of Red Lion Group.
Yeah.
Like this guy was not just a fucking like nobody. Like this, he worked at Nestle, Del Monte, Marathon, Speedway, 7-Eleven. He has experience in Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Like,
He has a wife and kids. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is really weird.
They probably tipped off the place. I wonder what was going on at home.
Anyone else getting Unabomber, Las Vegas gunman? Yeah, a little bit. I know. Are we gonna watch? We don't hear anything of this. We don't hear anything about this ever again.
Well, I don't know. People were saying we already know more about this guy than we do about the guy who shot Trump. Like,
oh yeah, that's true.
Look at this. We already know basically his whole life history, right? Like we know he went to. We don't know what happened in those other countries, but.
Hello, my name is Vance Belter. I just go by Vance. No other names that I use. I live in Green Isle, Minnesota, about an hour away from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I'm affiliated with 2 funeral homes. I work full-time for Wolf Funeral Home, which is an intake location for about 6 funeral homes. And we also do all the intake for the National Cremation Society and the Neptune Society for all their cremation um, customers as well. So I mainly do removals at this point. So I work at Wolf full time, and then I also work for another funeral home called Metro First Call, and they also do traditional removals at nursing homes, assisted living apartments, but they also have contracts with medical examiner's office. So like one contract is the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, so we'll do removals, which we're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators.
Okay, this is
Hennepin County, that's where George Floyd,
yeah.
his autopsy came. So did this guy do the autopsy on George Floyd?
Or he was contracted.
Yeah, or did he remove the body? Like, that's a little weird that it's so close.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, is that, did this guy do it? Right? Like, the guy wore a mask, right? When he did the shooting. If I was to pin something on someone, I mean, this is how I would do it, right? And especially if this guy had, he's going to watch, his family's probably already dead, or some of them were probably away from the house at the time when he supposedly did the shooting. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, this is how I would, it's like, if I wanted this guy gone, this is what I would, if I was smart and I had the resources, this is what I would do. Like, pin some bullshit on have one of my guys do something, pin it on this guy, just throw it out there, this guy did it, I want this guy gone. Okay, then we find out he killed himself somewhere, in his car in the Minnesota woods.
Well, that's a lot of it. If he's taken alive, it's a lot harder for them to do, because then they need him to be participant. But if he's found and he's dead, it's yeah.
And I'm not trying to, maybe I should make a claim here. Yeah, he's going to show up dead. I think he's going to show up dead, and his family will too. And they're going to go, he killed his family and then killed himself, and that's it. Like, that's how I would do it, is just kill them all, wipe them all out in his house, and then do something like this. Kill, you're 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's say you wanted this congresswoman dead, and you want this guy dead. Well, we're going to kill this guy and pin it on him and kill her too, and say that he did it, right? Like, that's how I would do it, and this is the smartest way to do that type of shit. And then everybody's looking at this guy, and we're like, we're thinking, wow, why did he do it? He's so great. But it's like, really, it could be anybody, man, if they have the resources to. Like, maybe it was the Mossad.
It would, if it comes out that he had, like, handled some contentious body, I would be very suspicious.
I know, Hennepin County.
Is that right? Is that where it was? Yeah, because if this guy literally had first contact with George Floyd's body, something's off about that. He does fit the bill of someone who might commit suicide. Like, if instead of this, he had just been suicide, like, father of 5 commits suicide, works it, like, you could kind of see it. So it may just be a suicide and then some.
I want to dance.
Je veux danser.
And what Jesus did for me.
C'est que Jésus a fait pour moi.
Jesus is God.
Jésus est
Almighty
Dieu.
God.
C'est le Dieu
He
puissant.
saved my life.
Il a sauvé ma
Woo!
vie.
I'm excited about God.
Je suis excité de Dieu.
And I want to worship Him.
Et c'est pourquoi je l'adore.
Because He's coming again. And He's
Jésus
excited.
revient encore.
And He's got plans. He's
Il
got
a
plans
de plans
and purposes
et le dessein
for each one of you
pour chacun de vous ici.
and for me.
Yeah, this is wild. This is wild. This guy was a doctor, but he was a general manager at 7-Eleven. That's his wife.
Is that her? She works at Praetorian as well?
That's what this is saying.
Poor guy, his wife's CEO, and he's like a peon. Sucks.
Family business.
Oh, that's not too bad.
He worked in Gaza. She looks like him in a wig.
She does.
Oh no.
Good morning, Colonel Christina Bogoyevich with the Minnesota State Patrol. Given the targeted shootings of state lawmakers that happened overnight, we are asking the public to not attend today's planned demonstrations across Minnesota out of an abundance of caution. I'll stand for any questions.
Are there reasons to believe that these events were also targeted by the person in the manifesto in the car?
We don't have any direct.
Or could it be that the current regime wants people to think that these are violent, crazy people. So set up some sort of false flag. And maybe they also wanted this guy dead for other reasons. So they thought, let's just set this guy up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it would fit. That motive would make more sense there because it's like, oh, we get 2 Democrats out of the way, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
And
but
this guy, maybe he's again, like I said, maybe there's some sort of motive with getting him out of the way.
Did Trump even respond to it? I don't think I even saw a response from him. Yeah, yesterday's in Boulder. He literally didn't even respond to this. 2 politicians assassinated doesn't. That's weird.
It's also crazy that there's like a manhunt too. That's also insane.
Yes, right. Yeah, this seems like it feels low key. It feels like they're kind of keeping it on the down low, and maybe that's partly because they want people to show up for these protests. And
I feel like there's just like forces above us that are fighting, and I feel like a lot of these people, maybe they don't know, but I think some of them do know what's going on. It's tit for tat. They do stuff, we do stuff, whoever does stuff, and they go back and forth with stuff like this. And I think I bet you there's people out there who look at this and they instantly know, yeah, I know why that guy's. Yeah, I know why they. Yeah, why she's dead, why he's doing it.
His
like
roommates.
Like so and so had fucking. Yeah, he said I'll be dead soon. So and so in the State Department had problems with this guy. I know why he's dead.
Why is he got roommates? Okay, so is he divorced? Is he separated?
Belcher rented a room part-time at Minneapolis home, and his roommates tell Fox 9 he texted them Saturday morning at 6 a.m. saying, I made some bad choices. I may be dead soon. What?
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say.
His roommates tell Fox he rented a room part-time at a Minneapolis. Why?
It could be a driving thing. It could be that he has just shifts between. I mean, there could be reasons for that. That's a weird thing to say, though. I made bad choices. Unless, 6 a.m. That means it was after the shooting. So, okay. So he's saying I made bad choices. I shot people, and now I might die.
But again, why would he text them that?
Live.
Why wouldn't he text his wife that?
Well, he maybe did, but she didn't report it. You can understand why they might report it, though. But maybe he's hoping that they will help him out.
Oh, okay. So the image of Belter in the cowboy hat is from the surveillance cameras at this home, at the rented home. I don't know. I have no idea, man. This is just a weird, smelly incident.
I think the whole thing stinks.
It smells bad, smells really bad.
That's enough.
What?
I want the smells.
It smells bad. It smells really bad, right?
Yeah.
This is a weird one, man.
Dead shortly. So I just want to let you know that I love you guys both, and I wish it hadn't gone this way. I don't want to say anything more and implicate you in any way, because you guys don't know anything about this. But I love you guys, and I'm sorry for all the trouble this has caused. He was a loving, caring guy, loved his family, loved his friends, and...
Papa John's shirt is goated.
I know.
Adorable waffles in chat, true.
Love
Make me a pizza, bitch.
God, and
Extra pepperoni.
I don't know why he did what he did. It's not Vance. No one will believe this. No one that grew up. He had lots of friends, trust me. I wish I could have been there to stop him.
Real? Fake?
Yeah. Yes. First initial thoughts would be real. It is a little weird that he has his pizza shirt on, but...
Where's the tears?
Go back. Let me see. Yeah. Wait, was he fake? People fake because they know they're supposed to cry. It's hard to see with his glasses.
Let's just redo it.
Dead shortly. So I just want to let you know that I love you guys both, and I wish it hadn't gone this way.
I want to see this angle.
I don't want to say anything.
Where's the other guy, too?
Yeah. Also, this place is a shithole.
Yeah, I know. And this he looks like
A bum.
not that he would not. I don't mean to judge because he could be a fine roommate, but he looks like he could be a real slum roommate as well. Like
That's weird too, because didn't they just say that he was caught on camera at his second house? You think there's a fucking camera? Maybe there's a ring camera. Let me see that.
Yeah.
Let me see that. Where was that?
Do you think that guy's gay?
Which one?
That guy, the big guy, the roommate.
I didn't get that vibe. Why? Why do you?
Because that could be. I mean, both of them. Because if there's some sort of gay situation thing going on here.
Oh my god. Son of a bitch. I just want the photo. I guess it's too recent.
If you do it on X, it
Here we
usually
go.
comes up.
This photo they claim was taken at this house.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
What the hell's in the
I don't know
background
who
here?
said that was. Wait, that was someone on X claimed that.
No, that
right?
was Fox.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Wait, where was it? The image of Belter in the cowboy hat is from the surveillance cameras at his renting home. This does not look like the fucking house. Look at this floor. It looks like he's...
And they weren't there.
Yeah, and they weren't there. He came home at like 5 in the morning, and
That
Papa
guy looks
John's...
like he's always there.
Papa John's motherfucker's not sleeping until noon. He doesn't got his shift doesn't start till 4. What the fuck, dude? There's... it smells, man. It smells bad. Something's weird. Something's off about this.
Although, okay, but if he's in his pizza shirt, maybe he was at work. Could he be? Wait, but the pizza Papa John's doesn't open that.
Nobody orders pizza at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Where does this guy work? What Papa John's?
Yeah, why is he in his shirt at all?
What
is that?
Yeah, it is really weird.
Is he going to work now, or because if it's like noon right now, he shouldn't have been at work. And he also, would you go to work after your roommate just shot 2 politicians?
Okay, this says resist time. I thought this said racist time for a second. Resist time says Vance Luther, Belter's longtime roommate, who has known him since elementary school, says Belter was a proud Trump supporter.
We even asked about Mr. Bolter's political affiliations, and David Carlson, once again, his roommate and best friend, known him since 4th grade, did say Bolter voted for Trump and that he was a strong supporter. And we even
All right. That's one for the libtards. Magatards. Magatard. Okay, we're losing this battle. The next shooter's got to be a libtard, guys.
Yeah.
We need the libtard manifesto. I should have like a fucking. I should have like a.
Yeah,
and then check them off.
This guy's a 50. If he's no kings shooter, I mean, come on. We gotta at least give that 50%.
Unless he's like me, which is like I'm a Trump guy, but I also fucking hate Palantir and all this AI shit, and he's kind of like, I don't like that, but I like Trump. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the angle. Here's the other angle.
I love you guys. I made some choices, and you guys don't know anything about this.
Get closer.
But I'm going to be gone for a while. Sorry. Take your time.
Not a single tear.
Yeah, but the timing is right though on that, right? Because that's exactly when you would expect someone to have a burst of emotion is while he's reading the text.
What the fuck? The other lady, the fucking Hortman lady, you were like, no tears.
Yeah, because that's her coming out of a congressional thing, taking questions, and then she's like,
That's the perfect time to cry. When somebody asks you why you did what you did, you're getting interviewed right on the spot. You go, because
that's not. Wait. What? When someone asks you why you did what you did, who feels like crying then? They feel indignant. They feel angry.
Called out like that?
The only time is if they really regretted the decision, but she wasn't expressing regret. It just didn't feel
How do you
right.
know?
If she wasn't expressing regret?
Yeah.
Because she was explained like, oh, well, we did this because, and she says something like it was a shame.
She said we tried to
keep it
we tried to get a bipartisan bill going, is what she said.
Yeah, but then she voted the other way. It doesn't.
That's
sound
right.
Like
it sounds like they tried to do it, but they couldn't, so I had to do it this way. I regret it.
Right. Regret that it happened, not regret that she made the vote the way she did. I'm saying.
Now we're splitting hairs. Listen, I'm just calling you out because you were like, this is real, and he's no tears, but the other lady had no tears, and that was fake.
Yeah, I mean, I love trying to get the vibe of the people, and my vibe of this guy.
You only say that because if he was wearing a suit inside a fucking town hall, you'd be like, yeah, fuck him. He's sitting outside this. Look, there's no windows in this window. Is this even a real house? Is this a homeless house?
No, they said he broke in the window. That's why the window's
this window? Okay. I think the other.
Because there's something else broken there too.
He's dead shortly. So I just want to let you.
This guy's a greasy schlub, so he plays into that. He's down. He's sad.
Yeah, but a greasy schlub likely has low T, right? Which means he's more likely to cry, right? So,
Please, I feel called out. Please.
and working at a pizza joint can kind of fit that. He kind of has like because pizza is one of the, it's like fast food,
It's greasy.
but for schlubs, but for people who want to do the face to face and aren't as,
I gotta say, I love Papa John's, dude. Papa John's
Yeah.
fucks, dude. I don't know what it is when it's fresh. That fucking garlic fucking cum they give you. That shit is so good, dude. I could drink that shit.
Both.
No
And
homo.
I wish it had gone this way. I don't want to say anything more and implicate you in any way because
In the background.
you guys don't know anything about this. But I love you guys, and I'm sorry for all the trouble this has caused.
There's no window here. This door is busted open too.
That could be open though, right?
You were saying just open? Somebody just opened. But look at this door.
Doesn't
This
look
door
like
is
it's
off the fucking thing.
Okay, and I think where you just
Oh, you know
were
what?
when
I
you
think the
looked at
SWAT.
cowboy hat
The
thing.
SWAT went in. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Okay.
I think they went in with a ram. Okay, you know what? That actually, just forget about what I said. Yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot
especially
about
'cause
that.
he's still alive.
They
That
probably
would make
threw in
sense.
a fucking grenades too in the windows, so they probably busted those out. This guy was probably in there sleeping. What the hell's going on? Checks his phone, sees all these text messages from his roommate. What the fuck? I gotta be at work in an hour.